Let's talk about where you started and how you actually got in to all of this business you do now, the writing, the comedy, because I know you started in stand-up.
I started at university in a sketch troupe. I had no idea that I'd be doing comedy. I wanted to be a serious actor and applied for drama schools for 2 years, but I was rubbish. And then my sister persuaded me to chuck a couple of unis in there just as a safety net. And when I was at Bristol, I happened to get plucked out by a friend called, very close friend now, Charlie Perkins, who got me to be part of a sketch show. And then I left uni and I started writing sketches just sort of for fun. And that ended up getting, my first job was a gig on a sketch show called Anna and Katie, and I'd been huge fans of them at the Fringe, Anna Crilly and Katie Wicks. And the producer of that, because I was like a new writer, the producer John Petrie got me to make some blaps for Channel 4 with him, which is like a short project.
Which is where Stath was kind of born from,
yes,
wasn't it?
Yes, it's where like Stath, the lettings agent version of Stath was born from, yeah. But it's the Stath voice is something that I've had knocking around my my larynx.
What did those early experiences teach you about this industry and also about being a comedian or a comedy actor?
Well, I think the beauty of the Fringe is that you get to, especially when you grow up as a student, is no one's watching, so you don't have that the pressure of expectation muddying your creative journey, as it were. You're just sort of doing it and trying to work out what you find funny. I'm still paralysed with fear before I go on stage.
Really?
Anytime. Yeah. I mean, it's never gone away. And also, I think I have like a guilt complex about like wasting people's time. I kind of feel like when you go out in front of an audience and you and you're rubbish, it's like, well, you've just made someone really bored for 10 minutes. It's like, work harder to make sure that they like it. Yeah.
Did you get nervous when you're filming? For example, when you're filming Stath, are the nerves there, or do you think it's more of an audience
Yeah, it's
thing?
an audience thing, yeah. Because there's an edit to, there's an edit around the corner to save. And also, like, I have to say, the 6 weeks of shooting Stath, 6 happiest weeks of my life. It was
Really?
so fun. Yeah.
Let's talk about that process and how you kind of approach it. Because you're the writer and you're also the lead actor in that. How much do they kind of cross over? Do you kind of go, I'm going to do all the writing first and then park that and be Stath? Or is there a lot of kind of changes as you go?
Yeah. I mean, both. I mean, I have to be Stath, but I'm also, I rewrite every scene. So on set you have a rehearsal and then you shoot. I'd usually rewrite the scene between the rehearsal and And
when you say rewrite, the whole thing, a few lines?
Depending on how good it's looking in the rehearsal. The way my show works, if it sounds right on the page, it probably won't sound right in the characters' mouths, because the characters are kind of defined by an odd kind of senselessness. And if it makes sense on the page, then it's kind of like not staying true to the characters because they're all really thick.
I was going to call Stath an idiot, because he is an idiot, but he's lovable as well. There's also a slight element of tragedy to his character. He is quite tragic, I suppose, and the story is as well.
Yeah.
There's quite a fine line between making him a complete moron that people don't like and making him this lovable idiot. How do you do that?
It's really hard. I mean, I always wonder if I successfully did do it. It's kind of essential that you do make any character sympathetic to some degree. My producer, John Petrie, always says it's not about making them likable, it's about making them interesting. And I think to begin with, I was really yeah, that's fine. We should have like an anarchic kind of character who isn't likable. And then in the edit, you're like, oh my God, let's cut out all the stuff where he's not likable. Yeah. Because you do sort of need to like someone. But then I was like, oh, but does that say that? Does that suggest I'm being sympathetic? I had to keep reinventing it to sort of keep up with my changing sensibilities. I mean, when we pitched it when I was 24, 25. I'm 31 now. We pitched it when I was 24, 25. I had a completely different sense of humour to what I have now. So yeah, reinvention was a big part of it. I can't specify what. Like his voice changed a lot over time.
it?
The blaps, it was a lot more sort of up here, and we worked out over 6 episodes that would become a nightmare. So it's a lot more in my register for the series, kind of a lot more dulcet. But I think what we're being is sympathetic towards a person versus like a career path.
Yes.
And that kind of alleviates some of my guilt for that.
His physicality is amazing as well. Like
yes.
what you've kind of done with Stath. I mean, talk us through that.
Yeah.
Does it help?
I mean, I can't agree that it's amazing. It's, I don't know, it just is. I think I have a very stupid body, which helps. I've got quite a big bum and I'm quite like wobbly.
I was actually going to say he's quite flappy and wriggly.
Yeah, he's a wobbly boy. I was never good at sports and I was like never good at running and things like that. And I kind of think I've tried to make the most of that.
You obviously had a really memorable role in Fleabag.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of people come up to you and kind of say, Fleabag was amazing. But what's it like working on a show like that where you've not really had too much of a say in the script, I'm guessing, and it is, you are turning up to purely act. I mean, does that change the way you approach the project?
It's the dream. It was the dream job. When the script's that good, you're like desperately trying to like ensure that, you know, there was improv on that show, but I didn't really want to do it because I was like, this is gold. And you know, and as an experience, it was a schooling. Like, she was so generous and so collaborative and interested in, you know, what everyone thinks, while like, you know, the best people I've worked with, I think, are people who are collaborative without needing to be, kind of thing.
Right.
You know, she understands that to get the best out of something, it's, you know, you got to get everyone excited about it, and she truly, I mean, it's impossible not to be excited about a show like that. I mean, the teeth thing has been interesting.
Can we talk about the teeth? Like, how did that work? What were they?
So it's like a plastic plate that goes in your mouth, and then there's 2 up front. But interestingly, we shot it was interesting or not, we shot the pilot, and then it got commissioned, but they kept the pilot as was, and then so I shot episode 3 like a year later, and in that time I'd had Invisalign, which is like a kind of brace, like braces, corrective braces. So my teeth had changed, but they hadn't. The teeth are so expensive, they didn't buy another set of teeth. So if you watch episode 3, they didn't fit in my mouth. There's a lot of, it was like rattling around in my mouth a lot of the time. There are some. I mean, you might be able to tell. There are occasional moments where I am sort of like angling my mouth to just sort of like hold them in there, kind of thing. But it has, it's definitely become a thing, especially now with series 2 coming out as well. People are going back and rewatching series 1, and I get a lot of people being like, "Yeah, okay, really? That's interesting." Like, I mean, they're huge though.
They are massive.
It's weird. I was surprised when people thought they might be real. I definitely have been into castings where the conversation beforehand with the casting director has been like, okay, well, look, let's check if he's got the teeth. Obviously, we can't cast him because that would be mad. But I assume he doesn't. But then I come in and there's like a moment where they go, hello, yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
They're not his teeth.
Yeah.
Jamie, have you got any advice for people starting out, either as comedy actors, writers, anything you wish you could have told yourself when you were 24 doing these blaps?
Generate your own stuff. Just you have the power to, you know, we're like such again cliche, but like we're in a time where you can so easily, you've got a phone with a camera on it, you can so easily make your own stuff. If you're not getting the opportunities, give people a reason to give you the opportunities. And there's no end to how much you can hone your craft. I've got friends who like have completely like changed their entire, you know, creative output and evolved. And I think you know, if it's not working, you can change, and yeah.
Well, it's amazing to see you doing so well, so thank you.
Likewise.